Hello and welcome to Moneylife News and Views. I am Debashis Basu. In August 2020, the Prime Minister announced 3 structural tax reforms under the label Transparent Taxation. And this consisted of faceless assessment, faceless appeal, and a taxpayer's charter. On the ground, though, maddeningly complicated income tax rules and laws, a broken online filing system, and malfunctioning faceless tax assessments have turned the slogan into a joke. It all starts with the torture of having to file everything online through a portal that is broken. According to chartered accountants, the website income tax filing has issues from logging in to filling forms and even wrong refunds. A return filled and verified can appear as unverified later on. In some cases, it is not possible to download the ITR, the acknowledgement of Form 10(1)(e) even a week after filing. Several forms require repeated attempts and what CS call tech jugaad to get around the system to accept them. There are mismatches galore. New SSCs and digital signatures are not accepted, and even a one-time password for Aadhaar-enabled verification often does not work. This ordeal, which started last June, reached a crescendo approaching December 31, which was the last date for filing tax returns by individuals for the financial year ended 2021. Tax practitioners, most of them big supporters of the current regime, took to social media to voice their anger and frustration over the disastrous tax portal. The response from a punitive state was expectedly callous and dismissive. The Revenue Secretary insisted that the site is working perfectly, citing the number of returns filed. Remember, in the middle of a raging second wave, the government had launched a new online tax filing portal for which it had paid Infosys hundreds of crores. Tax practitioners say that there was no need for a new portal. The earlier one worked fine despite some bugs in forms and utilities which could either be fixed or could be worked around. Filing anything on the new portal is now akin to running a marathon obstacle race while a hurricane is raging all around you, says CA Amit Patel. When users started complaining, the government, as usual, ignored them. After all, the Prime Minister has signaled that anyone raising questions about a government initiative has a negative mindset. When the complaints seemed never-ending and also emanated from associations of tax practitioners, there was a token of public admonishment of Infosys by the Finance Minister. In the late August 2021, Infosys had promised that glitches would be fixed in a few days. And yet, on January 8, 2022, CAs were driven to sending the Finance Minister a long list of maddening issues that they were being forced to deal with every day. A thorough testing before any launch and continuous debugging through feedback after the launch are the cornerstones of any software development. Amazingly, a tech-savvy government, which has Digital India as one of its missions, didn't do this adequately. Remember, Aadhaar and goods and services tax were launched with the same attitude. No need to test and don't bother about feedback. We'll make up the issues as they go along. Another important aspect of any project is a fallback option. It's not uncommon in software projects to roll back to the previous version if the latest one is too buggy. Unbelievable but true, the old IT portal has been scrapped. It's not possible to go back to it, even temporarily. A government that prides itself on planning and implementation had no plan B in case the new portal had hiccups. Would Infosys have delivered such a glitch-ridden platform to any of its private sector clients, and would it have been accepted without adequate testing? Far from turning on the screws, the government remains as cozy with Infosys as before. Remember, Infosys is also the creator of another malfunctioning government portal, MCA 21, for corporate filings. Indeed, it's a big mystery why a government that is acutely conscious of its public image and is brutal with its citizens and organizations for any lapses is handling a private company with kid gloves, even despite delivering broken projects. Is it because someone in the government has signed off on verification, testing and acceptance of the glitchy projects? Everyone had believed that faceless assessments could end corruption. Indeed, Many assessments were completed quickly and refunds issued in record time. In other cases, assessees are having a nightmare. Orders generated with wildly large additions or disallowances, not granting adequate time, not giving an opportunity to present one's arguments, notices sent to wrong email IDs. The faceless assessment has turned out to be a nightmare. It was not also thought through. According to Amit, a lot of work has come to a halt, such as appeals. Notices are being issued by the system, that is the central processing system, asking for the same information again and again. Even if someone provides his response by selecting the final tab and not the partial tab, the appeal is not disposed of. Another notice arrives after a few months. CS also complain of mistakes in demand orders not being rectified. At the same time, the inflated demand is adjusted automatically by the system against refunds due. Even when appeals go in favor of the taxpayers, demands continue to be adjusted against refunds. Most applications for rectifying mistakes are lying unattended. There is no clarity on who has the jurisdiction to deal with them, the central processing system of Bangalore or the jurisdictional officer. Last year, the government had started tax reassessments well after the deadline. This has now been struck down by courts. Tax forms themselves are maddeningly complicated and getting longer, while the law is punitive even for minor lapses. The fact is, tax torture and tax extortion are built into the system. Hence, the tax department will remain a source of endless nightmares for citizens, and PM Modi's transparent taxation will remain an empty slogan and a cruel joke. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, please do subscribe and press the like button so that a lot more people can view it.